put yourself out there. What's the worst they're gonna say? No? Okay, I'm gonna go on with my day. They literally said, support the smaller artists, you know, and then here we are. Yeah, depend on those bigger artists, you know, use them as mentors.
You're right, it is overused.
You were just having a conversation with the audience, so I was going to let you, I didn't want to,
and he's just letting me have my moment.
Yeah.
You're like, we're gonna have to cut this out. No.
Absolutely not.
I am so just open for the journey and the adventure that the Lord has blessed me with, and that I get to do this.
So talk about that process a little bit of the formulation of the song, moving into production,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
working with Huckleberry Road.
It was a total true story. It was a total true story. Honestly, about a year, maybe 2 years ago, I dated this guy for maybe 2 weeks, and he started like really coming on strong. And in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, like maybe let's just see what happens, you know. And then he tells me he's moving to Florida to go to, you know, this to go to school, and he was just basically wanting to start this relationship with me and just jump into it. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then one day we're just talking on the phone, and he called me baby. And I said, whoa, 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 don't call me baby. And I was thinking about it, and I was processing my emotions with like all this like stress of this person kind of coming on strong. And I just started writing. And honestly, that was one of my first songs that I, you know, finished. And I'm thinking, okay, this is actually kind of good. Because, you know, usually you write a song, you share it to your parents, and they're, oh, good job.
Sure.
And then your dad is later saying to you, hey, don't release that. But no, I showed this one of my parents, and they're sitting there. We went to church on, it was like a Sunday morning, and we came back to my house to hang out and have lunch. And I said, hey, can I show you this song? And they said, sure. And I played it for them. And I remember my dad just sitting there looking at me, and just his face was like astonished. Like he was like, is that really my daughter? Did she really just do that? And so they were very impressed, and that kind of inspired me to keep writing. But yeah, I had this song, Don't Call Me Baby, and I just recorded like the chorus and put it on my Instagram story. And Huckleberry Road saw it, and they liked it. And I hadn't really spoken to them since Broken Down had come out. And they reached out, and they said, hey, we really like your song. If you ever want to record it, let us know. We'd love to help you. Of course, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You know,
Sure.
The fact that they're offering that. And so I said, yeah, let's do it. A year goes by. I never did anything with the song. I got busy with work, with joining Carson's band, honestly. Like, it was just a lot. And so I never really did anything. And then one day I was talking to someone, and they said, if you just want to, like, get your music out there, like, you have this dream, pursue it. What's stopping you? Just do it. And something just inspired me to reach out again. And I reached out to Dylan, actually. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, is there any way I can send you this like demo that I recorded of Don't Call Me Baby? Is there any way that you would be willing to help me? Is that offer still out there? And he said, yeah, sure, send it over. And so sent it over, and they reached back out. They said, we love the song. Come to the studio.
Wow.
And that's kind of how it started.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a surreal experience for sure, because I've never done something like that. This is my first single, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get started playing fiddle for them in Broken Down?
So I went to a Creed Fisher concert with my parents, and they opened for him. And my mom saw them and was like very impressed, and she had a little bit too much to drink and approached Robert. I believe it was Robert. And I remember I was standing with her, and she goes, hey, you guys are really good. And he goes, oh, thanks. She goes, you know, my daughter plays fiddle if you're ever looking for a fiddle player. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, no. I'm embarrassed. You know, I'm kind of like shy. And he goes, oh, really? Well, do you have a card? Like, I'd love to reach out to you. I mean, I'm looking for a fiddle player for one of my songs. And I'm just standing there like, is this actually happening right now? I said, yeah, sure. And so I gave him my number, and he reached out, and he said, hey, I'm going to send you this song, and let's see if you can figure some stuff out and come to the studio, and we could see if you could lay down a track for us. I said, okay, let's do it. And I got it. And I think about maybe 4 weeks later, I went to the studio and
Did they let
recorded Broken Down.
you come up with your own fiddle part for that? Or
Yeah.
did they give you some sort of direction, or did you kind of just like do
So-
your own take on it?
Funny thing, I have this this gentleman that I go see sometimes for fiddle lessons. His name is Peter Vaughter. He is amazing. I showed him the song. I said, "Hey, can you help me with this? Is there any way you could help me with this song?" He said, "Sure." So I showed it to him, and I went to his house, and we just laid out everything that we could with that, and just kind of just played around with it. And he helped me figure out those parts actually to really get like the full sound of it.
Mhm.
And then I brought it to them and they loved it. But then Robert said, "Hey, can you do something like this?" And Robert's really good about like pointing out what is it that he wants in the song.
Mhm.
He's really good about identifying what that is and then also kind of telling you how it sounds. And I play by ear, so that helps. So I just kind of listened to him a little bit, said, "Okay." And then I just went for it. And so I probably recorded in that with them for about, goodness, maybe 4 hours or something like that, and then we were done. So
Was that your
Yeah.
first studio experience? Like as a studio musician?
yes, it's for myself. Yes, I did actually record in Jakota Wass's first album.
Mhm.
His song "You to Miss." I do the harmonies in that. So if you listen closely, you can hear young Rhianna, very high pitched voice singing the harmonies for "You to Miss." So that was my first studio experience, and we recorded that in Tahoe. But then this was like my first one, like for me.
Well, I know we were talking a little bit earlier about when you originally got connected with Dakota Wass. That sort of was how you got connected to a bunch of other people. But
Yeah.
like, because you're doing a lot of things now. You're playing a bunch of different bands.
I'm very
You have
busy.
your single- yeah. But what were all the dominoes that had to fall in order to kind of get you to where you are now?
I've been singing since I could talk.
Mhm.
I've loved it all my life. There's my preschool graduation, my dad would drive me to school in the morning, and there's this song, I forgot who it's by, but I know someone's probably going to call me out and say what it is, but it's a song that goes, "Copenhagen, what a flavor." It's this song, and my dad would listen to it in the car driving me to school, or not just that song, but he would listen to like his playlist, and that would come on. Well, all of a sudden he's driving and he sees in the rearview mirror, I'm sitting in my car seat singing along, and he's going, "Oh no."
He's like, "What have I done?"
Yes. So we do the preschool graduation, and my dad leads over to my mom and goes, "I think we're about to get kicked out of preschool." Because I got to go sing a song like everyone, and I sang like "Mary Had a Little Lamb" or something like that. But
Yeah,
my dad was
Who
so
knows
scared.
what you're singing for the rest of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they're not
So
there.
I've been singing like since I could talk, and my family's very musical as well. My parents, so when I was about 4 years old, we went camping in this place called Belmont, Nevada. It is a like ghost town in rural Nevada, the Smoky Valley area, like near Tonopah.
Okay.
And it's the coolest place. I highly suggest you go down there if you have some time to just go camping and like go check it out. Like it's kind of haunted, and there's but there's also locals that live there too. But it's a very small
Wow.
ghost town, old mining town.
Mhm.
So we went camping down there, and my parents we were at like this bar, and it's called Dirty Dick's Saloon. I know that's a weird name. But it was the guy that owned. I think the guy that owned it his name was Dick. It wasn't
I hope
like
so, yeah.
you're like, "We're gonna have to cut this out." No.
Absolutely not. I'm just thinking this whole time, like, I want to meet your parents. Like,
Yeah.
your mom going up to Bobo and then Copenhagen and preschool and
Yeah, for sure. So at this saloon, my parents, we go in there and like they let children in because I was there at 4 years old. And I guess I don't remember this. My dad has told me the story, but my dad saw this group of cowboys just playing guitar in this circle and playing songs and just having fun. And my dad's been playing guitar since he was in high school. And he just walked up to them. He says, "Hey, I brought my guitar. Can I sit in with you guys?" I said, "Sure." So sure enough, he sits in with them. We have a great time. We kind of make some new friends, whatever. We go home. He gets a call from the wife of the leader of that group. She goes, "Hey, we got a gig next week. Do you want to come?" And he's like, "Give me a minute." He looks at my mom. And he's like, "Okay." And so from then he joined this, my mom and him both, they joined this group called the Pea Vine Pickers out of the Smoky Valley area. And I grew up with them.
Wow.
They are like the start for sure. I grew up around music. I grew up like falling asleep in my mom's lap as she's sitting on stage, you know, like singing harmony with my dad. It was just the craziest experience. And, you know, it wasn't, you know, nothing formal, obviously, but it was a really cool group of cowboys that just all hung out. And there's seven of them. And they're all like my aunts and uncles, honestly. Grew up around them. And I started that. And I remember I was about 10 years old. And I've been growing up around this, but I was also going to school, of course. And sorry, my parents came up to me and they said, okay, Rhianna, you're 10 years old. You're either going to learn how to play a sport or you're going to play an instrument. Your choice. And I said, I don't do the sport ball, so we're going to play an instrument. And I was thinking, oh, what could I play? I said, I want to play the cello. And my mom was like, no. Not lugging that around. So I was like, okay. And so then they said, how about the fiddle, Rhianna? I said, okay, why not? So I played the fiddle. I picked that up, and for the first 2 years, I sucked. I was terrible.
As one does when they pick up the violin.
I would tell my dad, I'd say, hey, Dad, I'm going to go practice my violin. And he'd say, okay, I'm going to go take a Valium and work in the garage. So he wouldn't actually say that.
Reading between the lines.
He was, you know, very like, okay, we're just gonna like leave you in your room with the door closed, you know. But so yeah, and then I picked that up, and I got lessons from a gentleman named Fiddling Pete Watercott out of Bishop, California. I grew up in Bishop, and so Fiddling Pete Watercott was my teacher for 4 years. And then when I kind of hit middle school, I went into a junior orchestra within like the community. And that was fun. So I kind of got both. I got like the fiddling side, and then I also got the classical, like, okay, this is how you read music. This is, you know, how you do, this is how you do this and that, and like how you do the different positions and all that. Cause when I picked up the fiddle, I could play by ear. We didn't really know this at first because I, you know, reading the notes, sight reading or whatever. We're sitting with the Pea Vine Pickers one day at someone's house, and they're playing Wagon Wheel. And I had my fiddle, and they started playing like the chorus and stuff. And then they go to, you know, the instrumental break, and they say, hey, Rhianna, you want to take a swing at it? I must have been probably 12 years old. And I said, okay. And so I started playing, and I just played the melody, like all of it for Wagon Wheel. Wow. My dad starts crying. Like, he was so proud of me. And so they're like, is this actually happening right now? So they were all excited, and they found out, oh, she can hear the music and just pick it up. And so when I would take my lessons, I would be doing it, but at the same time, he's like, okay, you know, go to this measure or this note. And I say, okay. I had no idea what he was talking about. I just listened to where he was at and picked it up and just kept going. So it was kind of, I was lying in a way, but not really. I was still learning, but they just not the way the teacher thought I was. So when I went into orchestra, it really helped to like sight read and all that.
Sure. That really takes you far to be a studio musician, like music theory, reading music.
Oh,
it takes you so
much
far
better.
because my mom's a piano teacher. She grew up playing like classical piano, and she's always like, she's a very big advocate for reading music. And I learned how to play guitar. I was like in a garage band in high school, and I'd learn off YouTube, and I get really decent at a lot of things, but I couldn't tell you a single thing I was playing, you know, in like technical terms. And it's a really good skill to have, to be able to read music, but also know that there's like that human element to it too, and like that it's okay to break rules and go like stretch boundaries a little bit. I kind
of do both. It just
a
depends,
bit of both.
You know, what's allowed, you know.
It does take a lot of discipline to, if you're a good ear, if you can play well by ear, it's, for myself, because I'm the same way.
Oh, really?
I've learned probably 3 times in my life to sight read, and I've forgotten every single time because I never do it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's easier to play by ear. And unless
it really is sometimes. You just go for it, yeah.
But it takes a lot of discipline to actually keep up the technical side of things. And like, if you're not using it all the time, you forget.
Yeah.
It's really easy to forget.
It's a skill that you have to constantly keep.
Yeah. You have to keep honing the craft for sure, and just keep practicing. And for sure.
Yeah. You can see I got my mandolin hanging up on the wall there.
Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I actually can play. I can play the mandolin as well.
Well, I can play the fiddle down here, not up here. But yeah, in this similar way, I actually grew up. Had a family band. We did folk music down in Southern California.
I love that.
And I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and we all we played a lot of like traditional music. My sister Neva plays the fiddle.
Oh, okay.
She was the type A personality among the siblings, so she took the hardest instrument. And then yeah, I played mandolin and bass primarily. But
wait, that's harder than the hammered dulcimer? How do you say it?
Yeah, it is. Are you familiar with the hammered dulcimer?
Okay, I know what it is, but I don't really know.
Sure, but like you kind of know what it looks like, or like about it a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
My sister plays it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Won national champion.
Yeah, she was. She won the national championship in at Winfield, Kansas. There's not a lot of players. It's an ancient instrument. It's beautiful, and once you know what it sounds like, you can actually hear it. I mean, like Coldplay will use it, or like I was listening to a Matt Carney song, and I was like, oh, there's a hammered dulcimer in that sound. Like it's
you
a very
identify it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually a very easy instrument. It's a hard instrument to master, but it's a pretty easy one to play. You play with like 2 mallets, right? And it's basically an open piano in front of you.
Okay.
And then you strike the strings with these little wooden mallets. And it's chromatic, so like you can kind of just get up there and start banging away, and it doesn't sound terrible.
Right.
Just go for it.
Unlike the violin, where you kind of
sounds like a dying cat if you're not careful.
Right, exactly. So
I've been told that multiple times.
Yes, that is very true.
And maybe my sisters will disagree with me if they're listening, but
we'll be at rehearsal, and I'll try something different. Hey guys, I want to try this, and I'll go for it. And Carson just looks at me like, no, let's not do that.
So speaking of that, what are all the different things that you have going on? I know you're in multiple bands and
oh my gosh,
and playing a lot.
I probably should rest at some point, but you can sleep when you're dead. So I mean, definitely the music, that is a big part of my life, and I am so blessed that the Lord has given me that, given me the gift of music, first of all, and then all these opportunities that he's brought my way, and so with that, I have the music, and then I also work a full-time state job.
Wow.
So it's fun to, go back and forth and, ask for time off and then hope you get it. So
how did you get to be in Carson Chandler's band?
So honestly, it's so funny. It happens like with everything. So same with like Jakota, same thing with Carson. It's all about, I've learned this. It's just put yourself out there. What's the worst they're going to say? No? Okay, I'm going to go on with my day, So we had a show back in, was it 2024, I guess? And I was playing with Jakota actually at the time. We had our show, and I remember this gentleman standing in the crowd, and he was watching us. It was this very tall cowboy, and I noticed him, and he approached us, and he was like, "Hey guys, you were really good." And we're like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." And and he said, "Well, I got to go. I have a show just in a couple minutes." We're like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't know the lineup, like, because we were playing at the Genoa Heritage Days, Western Heritage Days. So we had like our 11 to 12 slot, and then he was later in the afternoon. So my friends came to watch, and my parents were there, and so we cleaned up, we finished the show, and then I just kind of walked down to just check out what else was going on. And I hear this voice, and it sounds, I kid you not, just like Randy Travis or something. Randy Travis and a mix of Cody Johnson, like together. And I was, where's that coming from? That's the musician in me, like, where is that coming from? And I look, and it's the same guy. And he's on stage, he's got a full band, and he's singing, and he is like amazing. And I'm just watching him, and I'm just in awe. And he's like so good. And of course, my mom nudges me, "Hey, I bet he needs a fiddle player." Like, we've been through this, mother. So then I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." I was like all nervous. And then my friend says, "Come on, you should do it." I said, "No, like, that's so embarrassing. Like, I'm so nervous." And so then I was thinking, like, okay, well, the worst he can say is no. So he finishes up the show, and I probably had like a beer. And I got the courage to go and talk. And so I walk up to him, And I said, hi, I wanted to say you were so good. I just wanted to introduce myself. And he goes, you play with Jakota Wass. You're Jakota Wass's fiddle player. I said, I am. Yeah, that's me. And he's like, you're Rhianna Carter. I said, yeah, that's me. And so he said, yeah, you're really good. I was like, well, thank you so much. I said, I just wanted to say you are amazing. And I just wanted to say, if you're ever looking for a fiddle player for a couple songs or to sit in at some time, I would love to do that with you. He goes, what's your number? And he just like whips out his phone and gives it to me. I said, okay. So I gave him my number and he said, we'll be in contact. I said, okay. And so sure enough, 2 weeks, 3 weeks go by and he calls me and he says, hey, I talked to the band. They want to meet you. Can you come to this rehearsal? I said, yeah, let's do it. So sure enough, I go to the rehearsal. They really liked me, which I was happy about. And they obviously, they'd sent me a set list beforehand. So I came prepared and I did it. And I remember like playing my music and they kind of all just turned like, oh, we want her. That's a good feeling for sure. And so, and then they were talking like at the end of the rehearsal, okay, so we have this next rehearsal. We got this show coming up. And he's looking at me and I kind of look at them. I said, am I in the band? Like, what's going on? And they said, oh yeah, this was your audition. You're in the band. I said, oh, okay. But we still to this day, he always jokes about, he says, yeah, I'm going to let you go probably a couple weeks from now. You're fired. Like he just says things like that to me. And so we just, the whole band and we just clicked and it was so great and they're amazing and I love them. But that's kind of how I joined his band. And I was still playing with Jakota at the time. And then it slowly started dwindling, honestly, like being in his shows due to the fact he was touring a bunch. And so because I have the full-time job, really hard to, get out and go on long trips like that. And so we kind of just had decided, hey, like maybe I'm just going to step out. And then he kind of kept going, which good for him. Like he's doing great. And I just kind of stuck with Carson and that's kind of where we're at now.
See? Mama knows best.
Yes,
she got you broken down.
Thank you, Mom.
No, it is.
Courage.
It's a cool testament to like what you said, putting yourself out there and just seeing what happens. I mean,
I did the same thing with Jakota. It's so funny because I met Carson at a show. I met Jakota at a show. Mm-hmm. I had just graduated high school and he was playing on stage and I was like, wow, this guy's really talented. Same thing. And I kind of walked up there a little sly, put a tip in the tip jar, trying to be all like, hey. And I said, you're really good. I play in a country music band and I really like your voice and your singing. And I said, I said this is terrible because now is like, I'm doing this a lot more and I am with a lot of different bands. You don't do this, but they go, I kind of looked at him. I said, hey, it would make my night if I could sing a duet with you. And he's like, the band, I can't, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, totally fine. And now I think about it now, I was like, that was ever going to happen. We have people come up to us, hey, can I sing with you? Maybe later. We have a set list.
I think that's overused, but it's so true. Like you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah.
Michael Scott, Dunder Mifflin. The Office?
I know what you're referencing.
Yeah. You're right. It is overused.
You're just having a conversation with the audience. So I was going to let you. I didn't want to.
He's just letting me have my moment.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I remember when you were talking about your rehearsal rehearsal audition.
Yeah. I was on the chopping block.
No, it's a great feeling when things. Yeah, exactly. It's a good feeling when things click, and it's also it's the opposite when things don't click. I was actually played. So I haven't played a lot of live music since moving here about 7 years ago. And we were actually, had just started Reno Live and I went out to Picnic to like take some photos at one of the shows that they were having there. And it was these three guys. I don't remember what they were calling themselves at the time. And they're just like doing cover songs. And it was a 3-piece guitar, keys, and drums. And they're really good. And I like chat with them after and we stayed in touch and I play bass. So they were like, hey, like you should come and play bass with us sometimes. They don't know if I'm any good or not. And so we did. Like I just went over and played bass and they were just kind of rehearsing in their garage. And the very first song, so we were working from the Real Book. Are you familiar with the Real Book? Like that collection of jazz music called the Real Book. It's like
I know the Fiddler workbook that they have, but
so there's a collection of jazz songs and jazz charts called the Real Book. It's
Okay.
it's like the jazz Bible
The
kind
Jazz
of.
Bible. Okay.
And thankfully my dad like introduced that to me when I was pretty young, and so I was familiar with it. And they were working on some of those songs, and but they were starting out one of the songs, and the drummer was kind of the leader of the band, and he gives us the timing to start it, but it was something like they were working in double time and I was not, or vice versa. And so for the first like take,
oh no.
Things are just like completely off.
Oh no. Oh no. Like this is it.
And so like I'm really confused. So I'm like, they're synced up. I'm out. So I think they're like something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And obviously, so like I kind of stopped playing, and I can see like them. Like this is the first time that they're ever listening to me play an instrument. They don't have no idea who I am, or
You're
if I
like,
know
they
what I'm
don't
doing
know
at
that
all.
I'm legit. I
And
promise.
so I'm just like, cut it, and I'm like, I think I cleared it up, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's try it again. And the second time it was like perfect. And so just
That's
like,
what you love.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then it was great from then on. Like it was great. But there's that moment of like, oh gosh,
Well, yeah, I mean,
what's
when
happening?
you go to this band for the first time, you're like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. You know, it's like new possibilities too. You know, what could happen, and so
It could be like
Yeah.
a make or break. There's
it's
some,
a make or break for
there's
sure.
some
That first
bands.
rehearsal.
I mean, like I've never seen Taylor Swift do it, but like just stadium, that size caliber show where a band will bring up someone random from the audience and they'll either like play guitar or drums or sing or something, and
oh my
they have
gosh,
no idea
how
what to expect. Everyone in the stadium has a phone on you, and
you're famous for life.
you, for good or for worse, right?
Yes,
Yeah, one way or
And
the other.
some
yeah.
have absolutely just killed it
Yeah.
too. I remember Foo Fighters brought up like a 9-year-old
Oh
on
really?
stage one
Mhm,
time,
mhm.
and he started playing Metallica, and just like right off the bat, and he started playing Enter Sandman, and then Dave Grohl just being a huge like music junkie,
Yeah.
he's just like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this, and then so he starts singing it. The whole band's playing
That's
it. It's like this
awesome.
9-year-old who just starts playing Enter Sandman on stage. Like, I can't imagine the.
Actually, this is bringing up something interesting, and I'd love to kind of hear your
Yeah,
perspective on
yeah,
this.
for sure.
So, we went and saw the Killers play at the Grand Theater last
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
All right.
Do you remember when they were playing Human? They stopped the song.
Yeah, there was.
So there was like something, I don't know.
Well, I was down in the pit,
Yeah.
and I don't even know what happened.
'Cause you're on
you
the
were
other
like,
side,
you
yeah.
were right behind.
I don't
me.
know what happened either, but I don't know if there was like an altercation or like someone passed
Oh,
out or
really?
something happened in there. And so Brandon Flowers just like guys, like stop. And then he like dealt with whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then they just like figured out where to pick it back up and start going. They weren't working to a backing track.
Yeah. There's
Like
no
obviously
click.
there's no click. They're
Kind of do what you want. Yeah.
Now it's, I think, unfortunately, among musicians and bands, there's a bit of a schism where it's like, absolutely not. No backing tracks, no
Mhm.
clicks, like that. And I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Like you should
Oh,
be,
for
it's
sure.
an absolutely fantastic tool,
For sure.
but it does beg the question of like, where do you draw the line? Where do you keep it completely natural? Where do you use technology to help your show? Like, I don't know. It's
Well,
not always
I-
clear.
I will be completely honest. All the bands that I'm in, so that I've been in, so Chakota, for example, I mean, I think he uses a click now. I know that for
Mhm,
sure. I know
mhm.
he's got a whole sound system and he's decked out. But when I did play with him, we did not have a click.
Sure.
No backing tracks, none of that. Same with Carson. We just go for it. I honestly think with Carson's band, all of us, we sync so well.
Mhm.
It's so good when you find a band where you click and it's perfect. And so we come in at all the right times usually, and it's, there are times when it's not the great, but we don't use a click, and
Mhm.
we've been pretty fine. Same with the Sugar Pines, my Tahoe female band.
Mhm.
We don't use a click either, and I've been fine. I have honestly never used a click doing shows. I've only used a click recording. So, and I felt pretty fine with it, but I'm open to the idea of using a click. I mean, taking that next step.
Right. Well, and for example, I know Huckleberry Road always does.
Yes. Yeah.
But they also don't have a bass player.
Yeah. They have the bass track, so they
Right,
have to
right.
be right on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that too. And they put on a great show.
Mhm.
But it is an interesting thing and something I noticed, especially like at a show as big as the Killers put on. I was actually really surprised, and it was like interesting. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of interesting conversation around that.
I think that when you don't have a click, honestly, sometimes it's better. Only because this is just coming from me. Don't take my word for it. You can kind of keep going, like at the end of the song.
Sure.
If the crowd is having the time of their life, and you're playing, some Alan Jackson song for us, for example, and people, Boot Scoot and Boogie by Brooks and Dunn, and
right, do the chorus again.
They just keep going, and Carson can just look at us, hey, let's keep going, or and it's good to you can keep going and you kind of play around with it or mess around with a different solo sometimes, and you have a little bit more freedom,
right?
And it's safe to do that when you rehearse and you know what you're doing, and you all are aware, hey, like we know our parts, but also we have that room where we can work around it and
also
still
a good
work together.
Leader, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
Who can dictate that and be like,
follow your lead.
You can turn to the band and you can pick up on the cues.
Yeah, he's a great leader. So
yeah.
That's what makes live music just worth it. That it's not, you're not just going there and listening to just what you can listen to at home. I like the variations and that bands can do that. Like it's entertainment, like that's essentially what live music is. It's entertainment. And I like, those are all the great aspects of going to a show when they can pull something off like that.
Yeah.
And, what's the word I'm looking for? Improvise.
Yeah. Oh, improvising is always fun too. When you can just kind of take something on the fly and just go for it. And
just wing it.
It's so much fun too, because the crowd loves it. When you do something that's out of the ordinary, you just go for it. It's pretty funny when, you can actually, did we actually pull that off?
Yeah.
You're all proud of yourself, and then, but then the crowd loves it, and that, makes it better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
that's also dictated a bit of how we operate with Reno Live, where we've had discussions of like, what do we promote or not? Like, do we promote everything, or like only, because like there's a lot of DJs in town.
It's a lot of DJs.
And like we've had one of the local DJs on here, and it was fantastic. But as a live music promotion, like where do we draw the line of what is live music or not? I don't know if that makes sense.
I completely agree.
Just hiring a DJ for background noise, or actually paying to go see a DJ, like he is the event. I guess it's like, where's that line? It's like, who is the event? Is it to just go in the Reno public market and, go through the food court with your friends, but then we're going to throw this little like live DJ in there to kind of spruce it up? Or is it like, oh, we have this guy who's doing a live set, come see him. We also have music or food and drinks for you on the side. It's kind of like,
what do you promote?
It's like, what is the event itself? And that's kind of where we struggle to really decide, okay, who should we promote? And I think DJs were always kind of the ones that were left out, just because anything with instrument, I'm just, I just really appreciate people who play instruments, and that is no, stab at like DJs at all. Like that is their instrumentation. I'm talking about more just classical on, traditional, like guitars, violin, drums, bass, just.
I love live music, and that, that's being a musician too, but just going to see live music is just such an experience.
There's no substitute for it.
There's no, and seriously, and I think it's because I'm a musician. I'm just so like, it's such like therapy for me. I can't explain it. Just being within, and then just watching, like I'm completely mesmerized. Is no matter who it is. I go to support my fellow band members too. So for example, in the Sugar Pines, Miranda Ray Love, when she has a solo show, I am there. I am sat. Like I'm gonna watch her. Same with Kristen Stevens and Jordan, and the Imposters. They have their own group, and I go to support them, and I just love watching other musicians. It's just so good, because it's okay. How do you do it? Let me hear your voice, and it's just, I love it so much.
And it's impossible to like not be happy at live music.
If you're upset at a live music show,
something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong, and you need help.
No, that's not saying that you can't be at a live show for an artist you love, and they're playing a song that you listen to when you got your heart broken and you don't get emotional, but you know what I'm saying. It's like,
but you should be in a good mood if you're at a live.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you're not, it's like, okay, well, this is supposed to make you feel better, put a little smile on your face.
No, it's true. You grew up in Bishop.
I did.
And you're now, I think, in Gardnerville.
I live in Gardnerville.
How has where you've been living and then the environment, how's that been affecting your music and your musical journey?
Well, like I said, I didn't really do much of the music stuff. I was in the Peavine Pickers. I got invited. I got a stool. I got to sit in with them when they do their gigs. And that Bishop, that was when I lived in Bishop. That's mainly where I did my music. And I did, like theater and stuff like that, and choir. That's what I like to do in high school. And then I moved to Smith Valley, actually Wellington. And I finished high school there right during COVID. That was fun. Starting a new school right during COVID. Yeah, I didn't know anyone.
I can't imagine being in school, like in primary school during COVID at all.
It was not
no matter
fun.
what grade. That sounds like an experience.
There's a lot of sitting at home, annoying my mom relentlessly. But and then so I finished high school, obviously, in Smith Valley, and then met Chakota and all that. And then eventually I moved up to Reno for a little bit, kind of did my own thing. Didn't do much of the music, still was doing stuff with Chakota, and then I did more Gardnerville. And now, as soon as I moved to Gardnerville, like, I've met so many different artists. And I'm telling you, the Carson Valley area, such a great place definitely for country music, honestly. Country folk music, that's where it's at. Carson Valley area, Tahoe, that's where you're going to find it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And lots of opportunities for sure.
Reno Live might have to branch out towards there sometime in the future too.
Great artists for sure. A lot of people in Tahoe. I know people, so ask me. I'll give you names.
Okay.
No, I do see, because we research for our calendar, we research a lot of, as much local music as we can. And I do see, I mean, even, I'll see things in Truckee and
we've kind of limited to just Reno Sparks, but since we've been bringing people to the studio, they'll do, like J-Rad came here and he played at like Picnic, but then he'll have a show, like a Truckee or something. So we want to promote that for him. And it's also, Truckee is, I consider it kind of local.
I mean, it's a little far from Gardnerville, I'll be honest. I went and did a photo shoot for my next album cover, actually, over there, and it was a little bit of a drive. But, from Reno, it's definitely a little bit closer. I will say, highly suggest, if you're thinking about, looking for other artists to, interview or talk to, promote, the Rowdy Revival Tour that is they're out of Tahoe. It's the Golden Nugget that hosts these artists, and it's called the Rowdy Revival Tour. And they've had an Instagram page and everything. And we just did a show for them. And basically what it is it's a show, like the after party for the show that's at Harrah's, or I'm not trying to think of the other concert place in Tahoe. Harvey's, yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know all the names. But so we just did our show a month or so ago and at the Golden Nugget, and it was great. And they have a huge lineup. They already had Morgan McKenzie, Jake Jacobson. They're having Caleb Montgomery this Friday. I don't know when this is coming out, but
to be honest, neither do we.
Yeah.
We don't have a
August
specific
15th.
date yet.
August 15th is when. But anyway, so Caleb Montgomery. So they have a great lineup. Honestly, even just like reaching out to them and saying, "Hey, what's your lineup?" We want to maybe reach out to some of these artists.
Yeah, it's a good thought.
Great group of people that run that tour and everything like that too.
Well, that's how those are some names. We haven't had any of them in here, but those are some names that we've definitely heard. And that's actually how we found out about you. It's because we reached out to Huckleberry Road, got them in, and then we got Chakota in, and then realized that you had connections with them both.
I do,
and that's just one of the greatest things that has been coming out since Joel and I've been doing this, is like how connected the Reno music scene is.
I was surprised, honestly. As soon as I kind of got into it, I didn't realize how close knit everyone was. I didn't realize that. I kind of,
which doesn't surprise me. But it's good.
It's a good thing. Oh, don't get me wrong.
You
want to have a close knit family.
Yeah, Reno's so small. Like, depending on where you come from. So like, coming from Bishop, it's a big city. Coming from Los Angeles, it's a small town. You know, and Reno is small. Like no matter how you look at it, really.
Well,
but
even Reno to Gardnerville is big for me.
Oh yeah,
I'm a small town girl at heart, so.
Right. Huckleberry Road, I think they probably play a bigger role than even they realize in the scene.
Oh my gosh, yes, they do, for sure.
I think I don't know how many of the the podcast that you've seen or
I
any of
watched
the artists
theirs,
that
yeah. I did.
even a lot of the other artists that we've had in here, it's been like they've thought of moving, to Los Angeles, to a bigger music market, or to Nashville or something, and they decided not to, and because they realize like maybe they'll go and play in the Bay Area, they'll go play for a couple weeks down in LA, and it's like, you can kind of do the same thing here, not deal with the chaos and the traffic, and still get your music out there because
taxes,
social media, and the internet, and so I think Reno is actually set. I think we're in a really good spot with music because we have it's a small enough community where you can kind of work together, and not everyone's trying to like compete for each other against each other for stage time. You have opportunity to go and play, and then you can still get your music out there on the interwebs like everyone else, And
they're so helpful, and they're really good at promoting other artists too. Huckleberry Road. And,
seems like they're really willing to work with everybody.
Yes, they're working with Carson right now to help him record his first like release single, which I'm so excited for that to come out. But so
we are in a really interesting position musically, because I wasn't on the podcast. It's the only one I've missed. We had Charity Kiss on here,
like a local rock band.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
And I think it was Patrick who was saying, they went out and played a festival out in like San Francisco or somewhere, and they said they got absolutely destroyed after the band that came on after them. Because there's no real, it's not cutthroat here, which is good. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but there's like no healthy competition, I guess, on like a bigger scale. Because
never really thought of that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be completely different between like country artists and like indie rock bands. Because just traditionally, bands coming up, it was kind of like dog eat dog. Like you had to get noticed. You had to be better than the other band. Everyone is competing against each other. That's not necessarily how it is in music just anymore, because there are like
it's a good
internet.
point.
There's so many different ways to make it now. But before the internet came out, it was like you had to get a record deal. You had to get the headliner. It was a bloodbath.
Yeah, Reno doesn't have that, like you said. It doesn't have the competition. The reason that Charity Kiss was talking about that, they're like, bands from big music markets, they have to have their stuff together because you have to be flawless. Like if you want to have a chance of, getting some good stage time. Reno doesn't have that competition, but we do have the support.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's equally important in a different way. Where, because like I was saying, not everyone's competing, but people do support each other here. That's definitely true.
Which
and really important.
I'm happy about, because, being a very small artist, it's nice to have people to support you and believe in you for sure. I'm telling you, never in a million years did I ever think I would be able to release a single. And the fact that Huckleberry Road had so much, faith in me, and they believed in me, and they encouraged me. Just, it was amazing. And look, they helped me. They even connected me with someone in Nashville to like mix and master it. And then they gave me a connection for someone to lay down some steel guitar for it and organ, so they just have so many connections that are just so helpful. And I think artists need to support one another.
Yeah.
I know there should be healthy competition, but also the support and just their like the friendship and just, going to other people's shows. Yeah. Support. That's a big thing. That's what I really try to do. And that's if I have time, I seriously try to go to, a lot of other people's like solo shows, or as much as I can, and just support them, because I know how it feels when someone comes to my show. It means the world to me. You know? So
the real factor that dictates whether people go to shows, it's not how much it costs. It's not about who's playing. It's, are my friends going to be there?
True.
And
very
the social aspect is
for sure.
so
it's a
big.
Social thing.
Yeah.
Live music shows are all about, the social aspect of it too. Because yes, you're going to go, like for me, truthfully, I can sit by myself and listen to an artist by myself for a good 2 hours and be completely fine.
But you're not most people.
But I'm not most people. I'm a little strange now. So
I can imagine playing for, 50,000 seat stadium and I'd be very thankful that all 50,000 people that came, but I'd also still be like, oh,
I wish I had a friend.
or like
There
if
you go.
like just like 12 of my closest friends were there.
Yeah, no,
That would be in my
enjoy it
mind the
with
whole
you.
show. I'd be like, those, you know, not to not think about the 50,000 people that come to support you, but that would be on your mind, right? Because it's so close and personal to you, and just like, oh, they came.
I want
They're
them to
here.
enjoy it with me, you know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
Yes,
I'm going to see
that-
Josh
exactly.
Ross this end of the month, his firefighter benefit concert
Mhm.
at TJ's Corral, and I'm bringing a friend with me because I was like, I don't want to go alone. so I get that sometimes that
Yeah.
you gotta.
We keep talking about how we need to go and see more live music because we're also I own my own business. Brian works full time,
And I travel too much for other shows, which I'm doing.
Like we travel a
this
lot,
Thursday.
and
Hey, I
we
get
do
it,
Reno
I get
Live
it.
and all these other things, and like, and we actually don't go and see that much live music, which
I
we really should.
I don't
see
know if it was
more.
for, like speaking for you. I was starting to kind of feel a little guilty and like something was hanging over my head because we would kind of sit here and just because I did my part in like going to the big shows that were here, and I would try and tell as many people, but I'd be like, Reno's music scene it just needs so much help. There's just like no shows come here. When they do, no one comes. But then also I was like, oh, I've never been to that venue. It's like,
Yeah.
did you hear about that? No, I probably should. I promote live music in Reno, and I haven't been.
Yeah.
I was kind of feeling a little guilty about that. I was like, I could definitely also do a bigger part in going to live music here, but
Yeah.
that's why we do.
We're doing
this.
what we can.
We're doing what we can,
Hey.
and yeah,
I get the full-time job stuff. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. So you can only do so much. You
And
can
as far as I
only-
know, no one else is bringing an artist to do a podcast.
oh
So
snap! But I
you guys
don't,
are the only ones right now.
I don't
Stay
think
that
there
way.
is anyone in Reno doing music not working full time. Huckleberry
sure,
Road's
yeah.
like we're just three guys who work 9 to 5, and we put every minute that we possibly can into Huckleberry Road.
Yeah,
they
it's
have
like-
married, have kids, full-time jobs. It's a lot, and that's been I don't know about you, but I've gone back to that podcast a lot for inspiration because
It was a great one. I definitely watched it.
It was a really great one.
I was locked in.
A lot of the stuff that they said, I'm still just picking apart and be like, yeah, it's consistency. It's all about the it's all about the work. You got to put the work in.
Mhm.
You're getting
For
nothing
sure.
out, and it
Yeah.
is hard. And you're in like right now, Joel and I are just buried right now, and in our lives with personal stuff and working. But here we are,
right,
and we got you.
You're doing a lot in addition
Yeah.
to your full-time job. That's
Yes.
pretty impressive.
A lot of, but I love it. Honestly, I love staying busy. If I have a weekend where I'm home and I don't got a lot going on, or there's not a show that I have that I get to get ready for that day, kind of a bummer sometimes. Like I love.
It's because it's
being
giving
busy.
you energy back.
Yeah.
And that's something I've really learned through this experience is like there's a lot of work that you can do that's giving you energy back. Then it makes it easier to do because when you're just at a standstill, you're like, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And then you just get that little bit of like dopamine hit and you're like,
That's when I write my songs. When I'm
Yeah.
just like, I gotta write a song right now. Like, gotta put some energy into this.
Michael Tecchio was the one that like broke it wide open for me personally, just because he was our first local guest. We had two before him. J Red was from Salt Lake,
okay.
Bronda's from Nashville, and that was the one where I was like, oh, like the importance of being integrated into the local music scene here, and it was like that kind of shifted my perspective as like, oh. Yeah, Reno is small, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like our music scene is small, but that's the thing that's working for it right now is that it's a tight knit community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
like Huckleberry Road's doing yours, doing, Don't Call Me Baby. And
Yes.
you played with Dakota Wass and Carson Chandler. And it's like everybody has like connections with each other, which makes it a lot easier to kind of go and
I think it gives you a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
So I was in LA until I was 24, and a songwriter, producer, and trying to make it in a scene that large it's
rough.
beats you up.
It's rough.
And so I actually think like the more I talk to people in the local scene here, it's like, wow, there's an amazing opportunity that people have. Like you were even saying you never imagined you'd release your a single.
No.
It's like maybe you
I was
wouldn't.
like, no.
Maybe you wouldn't have if you were in a big music market, because it would be incredibly
And I would never
difficult
met Huckleberry Road.
right, where it's like you actually have some more opportunities here because we're a smaller scene.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well, they got your back, you know, and like you had that with them before with Broken Down, and then you have, you know, then you got to have that other experience with them, but you know that they're good people looking out for your best interests. Because if, you know, something we learned when we had Mortez on, you know, it's like that industry could swallow you whole if you're not protected.
Yeah.
And if you don't have people in your corner and you're just going about it blindly, like you can get really stabbed in the back.
Oh, I've reached out to Huckleberry Road about some things. Hey, this person contacted me and said they want to promote me. You know, I don't know who they are. Do I trust them? You know, because they know way more than I do.
They'll tell you straight up. You know, if it's someone that you should steer clear from, they're looking after you.
Yeah, you need people like that. You need those. And it's funny because they talked about it in their podcast with you guys. Is that. Or not their your podcast with them. I was like, that's not theirs. I'm sorry. It's like, let me. No, but that, you know, they literally said support the smaller artists, you know, and then here we are. Yeah, depend on those bigger artists. You know, use them as mentors.
Yeah.
If they reach out to you and they're willing to help you and promote you, take them up on it.
That's an important.
Take them
point.
up on it.
That was something that Charity Case was saying too. Is like they've been around for a while now, and they've released, you know, multiple albums.
They know what they're
like,
doing.
They were saying how like a lot of artists aren't receptive to not that they're always trying to give advice, but like a lot of artists that are becoming think they know everything.
Well, there's that healthy criticism too that they will give you that you're supposed to listen to. I mean, you know, Sugar Pines have taught me so much. Huckleberry Road has taught me a lot, you know, and it's just, it definitely, you need to rely on them.
I found that one in a really humbling way too, because Patrick was still, you know, it's like we're little guys ourselves, but we want to help out the little guys that they know that they were at one point,
right?
To help them even get to like where they are and what they've learned.
Yeah, the way they put it, they're like, we have cried in our van.
Yeah,
like
their egos,
we've been through it,
you know, like their ego was not massive, and now they're just like running this town and being like, you should follow us and do everything that we say. They're just like, we know where you are because we've been there.
Give that advice, you know, take the advice. I mean, you don't have to, but definitely listen.
Yeah,
just
definitely listen.
Consider it because they know.
And just take it in
about.
and just have that different perspective. Yeah. The Sugar Pines.
Yeah.
Yeah. What can you tell us about the Sugar Pines? It's an all female fronted band.
All female fronted, except we do now have. It was all female fronted, and we had a male drummer.
Okay.
But now we have a male drummer and a male bass player. But it's still like female fronted.
Still female fronted though, yeah.
But what we did have when we first started, it was Miranda Ray Love as kind of like the lead vocalist in a way. We all do the vocals, but you know, Miranda's like, you know, kind of in the front. And she played guitar and sang. And then we have Kristen Stevens, who was on keys and guitar, and she sang. And she's in The Imposters with Jordan, who is still our drummer. And then Kristen's daughter, Lily, was our bass player, but she moved to Florida, got married. Good for you. No, I'm kidding. Good for you. I'm happy for you. But but we kind of like, they reached out to their manager, who I know through Dakota. And they said, hey, we're looking for like a lead. We want like a lead guitar for our female band, but like guitar is like so common. Not to say that guitar is like common, but you know, just something different. We want a fiddle. And he's like, I know exactly who you need to call. And they reached out to me. Kid you not, I get this long text message from this lady named Miranda, and I'm reading it. And it's saying, hi, you know, Ike recommended you and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we were thinking about having you, you know, audition for our band or if you're interested. But as I'm reading it, for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm like, this is a scam. I almost didn't answer it. And it was because it's just the way it was worded. I don't remember. It was like a very formal, you know, and I'm thinking, oh, this has got to be a scam or something. But yeah, then finally I kind of texted back. I said, yeah, you know, let's meet up. So like kind of like I did with Carson, I met up with them at a park. And they brought their guitar and they played some music, and they just said, hey, let's just see. I didn't even know the set list. That was the other thing. I just met them, and they said, let's see if you know this song or if you can play it. And I played it, and they were like, oh my gosh, we love you so, like, this would be awesome for you to join our band. Do you want to join? I said, sure, let's do it. So I kind of joined them, and we did a lot of stuff in Tahoe, Truckee. What else? We did a couple things in like Gardnerville area, but mainly it was Tahoe. Like mainly it's like the Tahoe, and that's how I got introduced to the Tahoe music scene, is through the Sugar Pines. So,
Okay. Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, that was really fun. We don't do a lot of shows now just because everyone's so busy, and we all have our own projects that we're doing. This was kind of like all of our own stuff, and then we just, well, let's do this big project together, you know.
Right.
But we still do quite a few shows like throughout the summer. Like we're kind of just slowing down now. Miranda, she lives in Arizona part-time, so she's down there now. So, you know, but we'll ramp it back up in the spring and everything. But oh my gosh, I loved playing with them. Still do. I mean, it's just fun to have like all female band, because every band that I've been in has been all male, and then it's just me. Like, you know, when Carson's on stage and he goes, okay, guys, okay, boys, are you ready? And I just look at him like, can you just address? So I like to be with the girls and, you know, have a nice, you know, female fronted, you know, with all the harmonies. It just, that gets me too. I'm big on harmonies and all that. And I do a lot of harmony for multiple bands that I'm in. And it just, when those voices just like go together, it's just such a cool experience to like be in that.
What would you say is the biggest difference between being in an all male band and an all female band for you?
I don't even think about that.
Choose your words.
I was gonna say, there's less drama. No, I'm kidding. But
and which one?
The male band, obviously.
Thank you. Okay.
No, but I love being with female band because you get to like relate and share stories and, you know, get ready together and do all this fun stuff and, you know, get to do the harmonies and get to do the slow, soft love songs and, you know, just play around with that. And then also to just be, there's not a lot of female fronted bands, honestly. So it's cool to like bring that out. But then also being when you're the only female and you're with all these, you know, males.
Kind of feeling left out certain times.
Yeah, sometimes, or you're also just, they'll be talking about stuff and you're just, I'm going to step over here.
Yeah, like when you're not doing music things and you're just filling the moments, you're like, okay, I'm
just going to walk away.
Just call me when you guys need the fiddle again. I'll
you guys have fun with that. No. But I love, you know, I kind of feel like, you know, especially with, you know, Carson's band. I mean, he and I are definitely the youngest, and then we have some older gentlemen in our band, and I feel like, you know, like they're like the cool uncles, you know, that we get to like have in our band and stuff, and so it's a cool vibe for sure.
Would you say that you primarily play country music? Is that kind of your genre, or? For
sure.
Okay.
Sugar Pines is mainly folksy, for sure. Folk Americana, which I love. I love stepping into that and doing that, and I get to embrace that side of me. That's kind of like Don't Call Me Baby. I kind of made it a little bit Americana, like not just straight country. But then with, you know, the other bands, Carson, Dakota, those bands I've been in, all country for sure. Dakota is more like newer country for sure. He's done some older country, but then Carson, he's pretty focused on like the older country, which I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like it's kind of like what I grew up with because parents would listen to it, you know, and so definitely more like country. But when I'm with the Sugar Pines, on the off chance that I get to be with them, totally get to go like the Americana route. So
yeah. Well, when you guys ramp it back up again, maybe we'll have to have the whole band.
I think we'd love that. That'd be so much fun.
What does the future look like?
Well, okay, I would love to do the solo stuff more for sure, like branching out and doing that, kind of putting a band together possibly, and as well as just with like honestly in Carson's band. I have no idea where that's gonna go. He's doing so well. And I don't know if we'll get to tour maybe a little bit next year. And the fact that I have a little more flexibility with my job now, I could tour. I don't know. But if we could go on tour for a little bit, I would love that, to experience that. I've never done that. I definitely want to do the solo stuff for sure. And I want to release another single. And I'm not saying, and this is another thing, because I know some artists are out there that they're like, you know, this is my life. Like I am just doing the music and that's it. And I get it. But I have so much more that I want to do. I'm I love going to my church and being involved with that and my friends and all that. And as well as, you know, hopefully, I mean, down the road, I want to have a family and I want to be able to settle down. And I honestly want to be like the one to be saying to her kids, hey, your mom got to be in this really cool band when she was in her 20s. You know, she got to tour, she got to release music, you know.
You want the stories to pass
Yeah,
on.
I want the
Yeah,
stories, and
sure.
I want my kids to be musical, and I want to bring them up in that. But I really want a family down the road for sure, and I want to do the music on the side. So honestly, as long as the Lord blesses me with this music and this journey that I'm on, I am on it, and I am ready to see where it takes me. I have no idea what's going to happen. And then as soon as, you know, he's telling me, hey, Rhianna, it's time for you to do something different, or maybe, you know, I have, you know, here's your husband, you know, start your life with this and do this on the side and slow down a little bit, then I'll do that. But I have no set goal if I'm gonna, you know, do this and I'm gonna be a touring musician. Now, if I get the chance to, someone sees me and said, hey, we really like you, we want to sign you, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't know.
Never say never.
I don't have a lot of faith. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say we can put that out into the universe. That might happen.
It might happen. Sorry. It's just my personality. But yeah, if something were to happen and, you know, I could go on tour and, you know, do my own stuff, I'm so down. Honestly, I am so just open for the journey and the adventure that the Lord has blessed me with, and that I get to do this, and I am having so much fun, and it's just been so great.
I always like to open it up to whoever we have on. If there's anything specific you want to promote, or like, you know, your where to find you, or specific songs or shows or anything like that you wanted to mention.
Yeah. Open forum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the fun part. I get. I never know what to say about these. I mean, I guess, yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram and follow me on my journey, my musical journey, I have an Instagram. They'll probably tag me in it so you can find it there. I don't remember my handle, so I can't say it off the top of my head. But yeah, and just definitely just I encourage you guys to promote the smaller artists. Promote those little guys that are kind of just growing. And, you know, the fact that you reached out to me, I was so excited. I never thought I would be doing something like this, you know. So it's just exciting to, you know, people to give you that opportunity. So give those other smaller artists an opportunity to get themselves out there and stuff, and promote local artists. If you have a Friday night, you're not doing anything, and you're like scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you see that there's like some live music going on down the road, just pop by just for a little bit, you know, go support that artist. You know, they may not know you, you may not know them, but the fact that you show up to their show to support them, hey, I saw this ad on Instagram, or, you know, I saw this flyer. It's just so, it's a great experience for both the audience and the musician when you go to support those local musicians and you go to those small duo solo shows. Not everything has to be the big concert. The big concerts are great, don't get me wrong. And we have been so blessed with so many, like, you know, Night in the Country and, you know, Rowdy Revival Tour. And we got to play the Silver Legacy. You know, we get to do those big shows, which are so much fun. But then those intimate ones, the duos and the solos, like those are really good shows to just go to and just kind of see, hey, I want to check this artist out. And then if I like them, I'm going to go to their big show, you know, and I get to see them with the full band, you know, so.
Well, thank you for coming on and making the drive up here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to the end. Check out Rhianna Carter's debut single, Don't Call Me Baby, and stay tuned for upcoming updates on the Reno Live events. Until next time, rock on, Reno.